Welcome everybody. Thank you for watching this video. Before we continue, please try, as you are watching this video, please try and click the subscribe button, and as well click the notification button for you to be able to get our videos that will be releasing in the consequent time. Okay, thank you. So we'll be talking this time around on principles of graphic design. I personally used to refer to it as necessity for graphic design. So this time around, we'll be considering this following points in as regards graphic designing, and this time around these things are so much important that everybody that want to take graphic designing or that want to be involved in graphic designing should know this before even laying hands on any graphic designing tools. So it is better to know the fundamentals of any skills or profession before diving into it. So I will be highlighting, and this 8 point, that is alignment, hierarchy, contrast, repetition, proximity, balance, color, space. I will be explaining it using this design, these two design you can see here. This one I'll be taking us through I'll be explaining it using this tutorial, using this design. So I'm going to take all this design into one side now, and you don't need to worry about the tools I'm using now. We are not really focusing on the tools we are using, but majorly on the principle. So I'm taking it to one side now. So we're going to start. The first thing I will do now is I'm going to have this. You can use any of the designing tools to do what I want to do now. You are using Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, or CorelDRAW like the one I'm using now, and some other graphic designing tools out there. You have numbers of it, so you can just pick up any one. Even on your mobile devices, you can as well do this one. On your Android device, you can as well do this one. It's a very simple design. So now let's go. So the first thing I will be talking about is alignment. And when you hear alignment, what is it talking about? It's just to make your designing the whole designing element in your design to be aligned. That is, to be aligned. When you are talking about alignment, that is, it is centered. If you are packing it to one side, it must be well positioned and aligned to each other. That is, it should be well connected to each other. All right, so let's do something now. Okay, I think all right. So the first thing I did here is I already have my color here. So okay, so this is my first picture. I'll put it here. Now you will notice something. I'm not just okay, let me duplicate it. Sorry, let me just duplicate it here. All right, so I'll just be picking all this. I don't need to type again. I'll just be picking it so as to just show us the flow in a bit of time. So we are dealing with alignment, and I told you alignment is making every of your designing element, that is your designing element, to be well connected to each other. That is, if it's going to be in the center, you make everything to be well arranged in the center. So now I have this. So I'm just drawing a box. This is just a box. So bring the text here. Now you will notice what I'm talking about, alignment now. So just bring it here. Now you notice that this picture up and this one is not they are not well, it is not connected to each other well. It's not well connected to each other. It's not well connected to each other. So what will I do to enhance that? So I will, based on the design I'm doing now, if I'm going to make everything to be aligned now, I'll just select this one and this text and this logo, I mean this background. I'll just make it okay, let me return this, is for another purpose. Okay, I'll just make it center to each other. Now if you are looking at it now, you notice that it's not centered on this page, it's not well aligned for this page. So I want to make it align on this page. Now I'll just select this and this, all of it. So I can just select all of it now, and I'm using CorelDRAW. And if you are also using CorelDRAW for your as your designing tools, you can just press C. So it's going to centralize everything now. So this one and this one is centralized now. If I pick my ruler to get the center of this image, so this is the center now. So you can see that it's still the same thing as the center of this. You can see now, center, midpoint. So it's still the same as a midpoint. So it is well aligned now. So you can, it's better than when it's like this, unless I have some other things I want to use to fill this area. So but it is advisable that it is aligned. So, and the second one is hierarchy. So hierarchy is a principle that tells you that when you are designing, you have your major communication. You know, in the graphic designing, all we are just focusing in as a designer is communication, pictorial communication of an idea and information and the likes. You notice the major information I'm trying to communicate on this page now is that I'm just trying to say there is a beginner's guide for graphic design. So my major communication here is a beginner's guide for graphic design. Now the highest, the priority, the order of the priority of my message here is that I want them to know is graphic designing skills, but this is for beginners. So this is my number one order message. So, and hierarchy tells me that I should place my information. So it tells me that I should place my information, that is, I should add weight to every bit of my design in the order of their priority. So my priority number one now is beginner's guide. So it's going to take the highest weight in this design now. So, and number two priority now. So I'm explaining hierarchy now in designing. So my number two message in the order of my priority is in graphics design. So let me bring it here. So in graphic design, all right. So in graphic design, you will notice that this one is not showing now. In graphic design is not showing, but this in is showing. So you notice they are of different weight and font size now. They have different weight and font size. So you will see the magic now when we graduate to the number 3 point. So it said contrast. And what is contrast saying? Contrast is saying that you should ensure that your information can be clearly seen by your audience. So for my this one now, this beginner's guide, so I'll do something. for people using CorelDRAW, you can just, I want to centralize this, and as I want to bring vertical alignment and horizontal alignment. For my vertical alignment I will use C, and for my horizontal, all right, I want to, for my horizontal alignment I'll just press E on my keyboard. What's happening? So I'll just press E. What's going on here? Well, I don't know what's happening. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, so my horizontal alignment, I really understand what's going on. So this is my horizontal alignment now. So bring it back. So this one is aligned to the center now. So okay, it's not properly aligned, so it has aligned now, vertical alignment. So now to the, you notice that this one for the fact that is bringing out our beauty, is there is contrast. That is, the audience can easily see these two things. That is your solid. When you are talking about contrast now, if you are using a solid at your background, you must not put another solid that will not, that when you write it, your audience will not see it very well. Now you notice that this text is black now, so when your audience is looking at it, they cannot see it. And if you are putting this color on black also, it may not be the best. So you must put the color. When you are working on your design, you must put a color that is very clear. If I put yellow on my black, it's going to be very clear. If I put white, very clear. If I put orange, it's going to be, it will show also. So any color. So when you have white background, you can put black on it, or any color that will be that will show well. So that is contrast. Your audience should not be shrinking their eyes before they can see what you are writing on your design. So for our graphic design now, you will notice that it's here but we cannot see it. So what's hiding it? Let's apply contrast principle now to bring it out. So I'll just add to my background, and you see now we are seeing our graphic design. So the next thing is let's go to the next one, repetition. And this repetition is talking about a concept in graphic design, that is when you are adding a consistent object to communicate a particular truth, to make sure that there is consistency in your design, and as well connecting things together. So I will use this, what I will use to explain the repetition now. Okay, let's take I will still come back to this now, but I want to do make an example in that repetition. Let's say you want to have a block like this, and in that block you will be having a category, maybe category number 1, category number 2, category number 3. So this that you are doing here is repetition. You are making it the same to communicate. Anybody that sees this designer will know this is an heading, this is an heading, this is an heading. So that's repetition. You are making sure that there is a flow, a consistent flow in your design. So coming back here, so I'll just copy this one, bring it here. So so you can see there is alignment. So I want to all right. So I'm trying to do something so that I can align it. This graphic design now, let me align it here. So I want to do vertical alignment with my graphic design. This one and this one must be aligned to each other, so they must be vertically aligned. So they are aligned to the background. So this object also must also be vertically aligned to this. So this is an alignment aligned to the background also. So let me shift it up a little. So for people using CorelDRAW is a plus for you. So if you want to shift an object and you don't want it to, still want to maintain the vertical, you want to shift it and you want it to maintain its position, like I'm shifting it vertically now, it's not changing, it's still within the vertical stuff. So you can just hold your control key and begin to shift. So just release it. So back, so you can see now go to proximity. Proximity is just a system of connecting every object of your design, that is making sure that your design is well connected. So you can see something now. I'm adding a boss here. This is a boss, this is a boss, this is a boss. Now are you following? So simply I'm having a button here, a box here, a box here, this blue box, and a box here. So now proximity principle is saying you must have a system that will fitly connect all elements in your design. Now you can see what I did in this place. This is a box at the top and this is a very small box here. So this box is connected to this one, so the design is flowing. So coming to this place also, you can see that the design is flowing. I'm having a box here, a box here, a box here, a box here. So I have a system that connects them together. Now let me do a magic here. I want to add something, though it's not part of what we have before. So I just want to have something. Let me put it here. Let me put something here. Okay, let me rotate. Let me just rotate 45 degree. Okay, so now I also rotate 45 degree here. I just want to try and explain the concept of proximity. Just put it, add a white outline to it. No, don't let me add a white outline. Let me put this color. So let me increase the weight of the color to, let's see, okay, don't mind the weight. So now proximity. Now I just want to explain proximity. So just look at what I want to do here. So 45 degree, 45, no, what's that? So let me just do it like this. So you will notice that. So you will notice that this design is connecting. So connecting every bit of your, making sure that it is flowing. So making sure that every element is flowing. So then for that one, let me try and do something here. So you can see something in this my design. Now you notice that this text here is very you can see the arrangement, that this hand, the hand that is pressing the keyboard, this environment, the text is very is very close. You can see where I position the text here. So I'm connecting this design. Now it will be very bad for me in this design to allow the text to just be like this. No, it will not be professional like that. So I will make it to fall between these two ends, these two fingers, the finger top here, the finger top here and the finger down here. So you can see something again. I'm having a box here, but I fade it, I add transparency to it, so it's not overlapping this hand. So when you have the sense of proximity, so your design will connect, so it will flow together. So coming back to our design, so then So what's next now? So I want to add the last thing here. So now I'll fix in something. I'll fix something here. All right, so I'll fix something now. This is talking about balance here. Now we have been talking about balance is just talking about the general balance of your design, the balance in the side of the use of your color, the balance in the side of your hierarchy, the balance in the side of your alignment. So everything must be balanced. That is, you are having a balanced design. Yes, I'm just this may not be I don't know, may not be a fully balanced design, but it's just a sample for it. So you have a contrast, nothing is hidden in this place, so very balanced. So you have a balanced design. So you must pursue that your design must be balanced. You can see I'm trying to maintain some balance here. So then the last one is your color. You must understand color. So I'm still going to release another I'm going to release another video that will be talking about color management, that is mastering the use of color. It is not when you become a professional, a pro, or you've started handling big project before you can start mastering color. You start mastering color from the basics. So now you can see what I did in this place. I didn't show you how I choose my color. Well, I'm still going to use this tutorial to explain this same sample, to explain how I got this color, and some tricks about color, and I'll touch some bit of creativity. So space now, which is the last one. You can see that my design is not covering all areas of this design. So you can see that I have a design width here. Now, why do I have this two line at the edge? Is to cover, to fitly connect I'm having a space here. So if you can utilize your space very well, it will be useful for you in your designing. So now this one is serving two purposes here. Now it's serving as a demarcation from the major content of the design, and the sub-heading, other sub-heading. So, and it's also adding a bit of flesh to this design width. That is here, this design width is also having a bit of flesh to it. So, and so you manage your space, and this space, I haven't tell you, space is just many people is referred to as a negative space. That is places that is not occupied by your designing. So by your design, so we can see something now. All these sides are not occupied by my design, but I utilize them to add color to my design. You can see now this place now can serve as a frame for this my image that I'm putting here. So, and the last one, which is still let me add this logo here. You notice I employ contrast here. I employ the principle of contrast. That is, everything I'll be adding to my design must be clearly seen. Now if I remove this background here, you notice that this logo may not be properly seen, but putting in mind that I have a principle that talks about contrast, that everything I put in my design must be clearly seen, so I must add a whiteout to it. So you can see now the logo will show, so we can clearly see it. So, and some other things. Well, you are free to pass your question, your comment, other suggestion in the comment box. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel, and as well hit the notification button for more of this. So, and we'll still be releasing more. We are going to release on color management, and how to engage creativity in your graphic designing skills. So thank you very much. Thank you, really appreciate.